3 inmates at the State Prison for Men in Concord overdosed and were found unresponsive over the weekend.
We utilized Narcan, administered that to help bring them back. They were then taken in for medical treatment, and they are all going to survive.
Spokesperson Jeff Lyons says the Department of Corrections is now investigating. A canine team is inspecting all areas of the prison. Meantime, visitors will not be allowed inside until further notice, something that's not been done before due to drug concerns.
In order to do a thorough investigation, we want to close down the visiting room so we could move some of those officers over to other areas of the prison to help with the investigation, as well as to go through the visiting room itself, where often drugs are entered into the prison through there.
There was also an incident at the Calumet House in Manchester, a transitional housing unit. Lyons says an inmate on work release overdosed and died. 48-year-old Michael Cullen was found laying on the floor inside.
We, at this point, are conducting the investigation on all of these cases. They all happened unusually at the same period of time. That is an unusual incident for us.
Lyons says there are some precautions in place to limit drugs in the prison. Greeting cards and crayon drawings are not allowed to be sent to inmates because in the past, Suboxone strips, which are used to treat people addicted to certain drugs, were being hidden inside.
Normally, Suboxone is the most serious situation of drugs that we have in our prison system, and that does not normally result in any overdose situations.
Leaving officials wondering what drugs could have been smuggled inside the prison walls this time.
At this point, we're waiting for all the blood tests and toxicology reports to come back to make a determination.
Again, visitors will not be allowed here at the prison until at least Thursday. It will be decided on Friday when visitors will be allowed back in. Live in Concord, Kristen Carosa, WMUR News 9.
There are new details tonight about a Lebanon man accused of starting a devastating fire at a church in Lebanon and then assaulting 2 people. Police say Anthony Bovair told a friend that he was going to set a fire that would make the news. WMUR's Andy Hirschberger was in court for a hearing today and has that story.
Well, Tom, a Lebanon police lieutenant testified that Anthony Bovair admitted to setting 2 fires and stabbing 2 people over the course of several days. Bovair was in court for a hearing for arson and a first-degree assault. Police say Bovair told a friend he was planning on doing something big. Authorities say Bovair admitted to setting the fire that heavily damaged a Baptist church in Lebanon because he said he was mad at God for making him a pedophile. Police testified that Bovair said he watched child pornography before the arson. Authorities say he also admitted to stabbing Wade Bennett and Diane Fawnin because he thought they had talked to police.
Wade reported he was stabbed approximately 25 times, and Diane had approximately 6 stab wounds, again to her head and neck area, chest. Wade's was in the head. He had him on his arms and the side of his body.
The judge found that probable cause exists for the cases against Bovair to move forward. The charges will now be presented to the grand jury for indictment. Reporting live, I'm Andy Hirschberger, WMUR News 9.
A man accused of attacking a woman and her co-worker while claiming he was a vampire was found not competent to continue court proceedings. Jacob May has been behind bars since he was arrested back in November after the incident at the Concord Food Co-op. His attorney argues the 21-year-old is in need of a higher level of care than what he's receiving in jail. Today, a judge ruled that he can be admitted to the New Hampshire State Hospital.
Well, tonight the debate continues over legislation that would affect labor unions and companies in New Hampshire. Let's go now to WMUR's Mike Cronin, live now in Concord with more about right to work.
Hundreds of people packed into the State House today for the first public meeting on right-to-work legislation in a fight that's once again front and center in Concord. The New Hampshire Right to Work Act would allow workers at unionized jobs the option to not join the union or pay union dues. If passed, Senate Bill 11 would apply to unions in the public and private sector. At today's committee meeting, those opposed to the legislation showed up in large numbers with concerns that it could weaken unions. Those in favor say it would help the economy, and with a Republican governor and GOP-run State House, they feel that it could pass.
Right to work is going to be a consistent fight, but ultimately we believe that the benefits of passing right to work and growing wages and growing jobs here in New Hampshire outweigh a lot of the disagreements we might have.
People have the right to negotiate what they like in the workplaces that they represent. You have the freedom not to be a member of a union in this country, which is the law. It has been for a long period of time.
Governor Sununu has said that he would sign right to work into law, but this battle is far from over. Reporting live in Concord, Mike Cronin, WMUR News 9.
Well, today, New Hampshire took a step toward eliminating the requirement to obtain a permit to legally carry a concealed firearm.
The bill repealing the current